Many people, when they think of San Pedro as a place where a lot of cruise ships come into. A lot of people also think of San Pedro as a place that used to, many years ago, be the home of the fishing industry. But San Pedro, the town, has a lot of wonderful little gems. So come with me as we explore these San Pedro gems. I think it's important for our viewers to know that if you want to know about San Pedro, there is really one individual who can show you and tell you in a variety of different ways. I'm standing next to him now, James Allen. James is a very colorful personality, an individual who knows San Pedro, but he also has, well, he has a very colorful newspaper. Tell us a bit about that and about your love for San Pedro.
Yes, I have been publishing the newspaper for San Pedro for over 30 years.
And it's called?
Random Lengths News, and this is a copy of it here. You can get it online, you can get it in hard copy, you can get it mailed to your home. But if you want to find out what's going on in San Pedro or the greater Los Angeles harbor area, we cover it all. Random Lengths is a unique publication that basically carries both politics and culture and does it from a non-mainstream media perspective. You're going to get an alternative perspective, and it won't bore you, it'll entertain you. You may not agree with everything.
That's for sure. I've known James for many, many years, at least 25 years, and when he says it won't bore you, that is absolutely right. It's colorful. Anyway, go on. Part
of the many editorial campaigns that the newspaper has gone on over the last 30 years is the job of helping to recognize and create the actual structure for the arts district.
Why did you feel it was important to do this?
What's important is that we have 3 generations of fine artists that have habitated this part of San Pedro, part of Los Angeles. And they keep coming back, and it keeps renewing itself. And there is this sort of underground culture of art and culture here that does not get recognized from the rest of Los Angeles, but it has this tenacity to keep going and survive and to keep continuing.
I just want to tell our viewers, as I say, I've known James for many, many years, and if you want to know anything about this city, this town, what's good, what's bad, you'll find it in James's publication, Random Lengths, and certainly James is one of the colorful figures of San Pedro. I've used the word colorful quite a few times, and I'm standing in truly what is a very, very colorful shop, and I'm talking with the owner, Annette. I know that your last name is, if I may say this, a bit unpronounceable, so can I call you Annette?
Yes, of course.
And this shop is yours, and I believe it is the start of something that James has talked about called the Art Walk. Tell us a little bit about that.
The Art Walk is a first Thursday event here in San Pedro. We have docent guided tours that are free for people to come down and enjoy seeing the different galleries in the area.
This particular shop that you have here is filled with a wonderful array of, well, I don't know, things. Tell me a little bit about your shop.
Okay, well, first of all, this is a Findings Art Center. It's a nonprofit organization. We have 2 causes. One is a Women's Findings Project, and it's a group of women who meet weekly to improve on their English skills as well as their entrepreneurial skills. So the Findings makes those things. The other cause is the first Thursday openings of different causes. So we have opportunities for shows for emerging artists, community projects. Tonight, the employers of the Port of Los Angeles will be here. Findings comes from the word that was actually implemented through the artwork of Sister Mary Corita Kent. This gallery is dedicated to further her cause. And a 2 by 2 inch square is a finding, and she wanted us to look at the world in 2 by 2 inch fragments.
Okay. We're standing in another fascinating room, and there's several things here that intrigue me. First of all, this painting here it looks like a giant hole, and then there's something there. Tell us what that is.
Actually, the idea is that it is a worm looking out into the world. And there is, those of you who are golfers, it's called the double eagle. And so it's from the inside the earth looking out. These are all works of employees of the Port of Los Angeles. Oh. So this is their side hobby. It's not their...
not the way they make their living.
Right. Although they're planning on it very soon.
What about pricing? Does the artist give you a price, or does someone say to you, how much is this? And then you say, let me think about that? Or no. Is there a price or what?
It is all by the discretion of the artist. The artist decides how much, and it's their sales. Okay. We do this as a nonprofit, so the profit directly goes to whatever cause we're promoting.
Okay. And this happens again how often?
Every month there's a new show, and there's a new cause and a new event.
We're standing outside one of the icons of San Pedro, and James, tell us exactly where we are and what this place is.
This is the Art Deco Warner Grand Theater. It was built in the 1930s, and it has been a theater that has premiered many of the first-run movies back in its day, and is now being used as a cultural arts institution for the Arts, Culture, and Entertainment District for San Pedro.
So we had, you know, big Hollywood stars coming here and the red carpet and glamour and all that sort of stuff?
Not quite like Grauman's Chinese, but...
Okay. So let's go inside and see some of the wonderful things that I know you're going to tell us about. We're standing in this beautiful hallway that is really, what is this, 1930?
1932, I believe, was the year it was designed. But why don't we bring my brother in and tell us a little bit more about the theater. My brother Fred Allen is the president of the Grand Vision Foundation, which is the nonprofit that has been doing a lot of the restoration work for the theater.
Absolutely. I've always been fascinated by the older venues that are still in service around our country. This one is a particularly fine example of the Art Deco style, although the lobby here that we're looking at is actually not original. This was overpainted.
It's not original?
No. This was overpainted in the 70s.
On purpose?
On purpose. And I'll show you the second floor lobby, which still has the ceiling intact from the original paint.
Anyone who was watching has got to say, why was it overpainted?
I think it was seen as an older style, and people wanted to get a cleaner look. And so you can actually see in like some of the decorative ends of the little channels up here that there's actually Art Deco designs up in there, and those were highly decorated. The architect Marcus Pritica was famous for these theaters. He did the Pantages Theater in Hollywood, and there were three actually sister theaters of this one in Montebello and one in Beverly Hills, and this one.
When you see places like this, and it's just my love of such places, but what are the dangers, and I use that word advisedly, what are the dangers of a place like this falling into disrepair or not being kept up?
Well, if you were to go down to downtown Los Angeles, to Broadway, there are at least a dozen old venues that range in age from about the turn of the 20th century into the 30s. Only one of them, the Orpheum, is still actually an operating theater. So the danger of losing these theaters is great. This was almost turned into a swap meet. Yeah, it was going to be sold by a private individual to another private individual that was going to tear out the seating and, you know, unrake the floor, make it a big giant swap meet. And that's when the city stepped in and said, no, that's not going to happen. We're going to own it.
We're just about to go upstairs, and I happened to look up and saw this wonderful sort of ceiling. Fred, tell us a little bit about that.
This is actually the original design for all of the theater. And you'll see more of this when we actually go into the auditorium, that the auditorium is still original. It hasn't been overpainted at all. And this is a really fine example of the type of design that they did throughout the building, in which one of the owners overpainted down here, and which we will be restoring.
Okay. Terrific. Let's go upstairs. Is this an old-time water drinking fountain? What is this?
It is. It is an old drinking fountain, and we're trying to restore it, but we can't find where the pipe ends up downstairs. We haven't discovered that yet. That's one of the tasks that we have left to do. But
now, when you say we are restoring it, we is what?
We is the Grand Vision Foundation in conjunction with the City of Los Angeles. Part of our mission is that we want to see this taken back to the way it was on opening night. This actually is one of the theaters of my youth. I first walked into this building when I was maybe 11 or 12 years old. The arts and entertainment that we present here will be an engine for economic resurgence in the San Pedro area, and we really look forward to bringing her back to her true elegance. I think it probably cost all of them about 50 cents to come in, and probably when it opened it was probably a quarter, unless you sat in the loge. In this theater we have a balcony, and the first 6 rows, I think it is, of the balcony is the loge, and those were the special seats. They actually sold for more. And I've heard many, many old couples in this town say that she really knew that he liked her because he bought tickets to the loge. Well, it's a really highly decorated proscenium, unlike any other newer proscenium that's been put up in the last 80 years.
At least.
And the valance that you see there is original to 1931. It's never been replaced. Although the drapery that's right behind it, and is suspiciously very well color coordinated with the valance, is brand new. It is something that the Grand Vision Foundation purchased and installed just a couple of years ago. This theater was put up in 6 months from shovel in the ground to opening day. 6 months for $500,000. You know, the studios were putting these things up, these theaters up, wildly around the country, because at that time the whole system was integrated from, you know, from the studio out to the presentation was all in the same corporation. At the Grand Vision site, you can sign up to be on our email list and give us your address, and we'll even snail mail you a card telling you what's going on every month down here. And there are hundreds of shows that are going on. It's music, it's dance, it's theater. We have got a really active performing arts venue.